Hello everyone, welcome to Cine Club. I'm Maria. This is where we watch movies and talk about them. And the movie I saw this week was Her. I completely missed Joaquin's comeback last year with the movie The Master, but I was very excited to see his name once again this year, and especially in this type of film. So the movie is directed and written by Spike Jonze and is set in a sort of futuristic yet relatable time where this writer, played by Joaquin Phoenix, is going through a tough time, and he decides to buy the latest, most advanced operating system that is made to adapt and evolve like a human being. I thought it was a great point of view of a not so distant future of our digital age and how we still use technology so much, even more present than ever before in a much more natural way, and how we might not be able to live without it. It's just completely integrated into our lives in a much deeper level. The way he handles it is just so relatable. It doesn't feel like very far off. It feels like something that is going to happen maybe in the next 50 years, 100 years, and you can't help wonder if that is exactly where we are headed. A world where it's just you and your machine, and there's this great distance between you and the rest of humanity, and everybody is exactly like that. Even though it's an obvious critic to this, the movie is really a love story in its essence, and I think one of the most real ones I've seen in the movies of 2013. Scarlett Johansson is the voice of Samantha, the operating system, and apart from having the really sexy husky voice that makes her so enticing, her character is just so well-rounded. She has such a presence with just her voice, and you come to love her so much and see her as a real person. It goes without saying that Joaquin is an amazing actor, probably one of my favorite actors. I was so sad to hear that he was probably not going to act ever again. But to see him really carry this movie, it's just mostly him on screen, just shows you how incredibly talented he is. From what I read, the original Samantha that wasn't really going to be played by Scarlett Johansson was always on set, reading the lines, but he was never able to see her, and this was on purpose, so he just wouldn't have the chance to react to her facial expressions. So he really is just reacting to her voice, and he's just right there with you on screen. It was truly spectacular. Without doubt, I think the best thing was the writing. Spike Jonze just excelled at this. The interaction between these two characters is so perfect, it's seamless, even when it's not a face-to-face relationship. It's rich and it's soulful and just so deep in its content that you are just never bored in a minute of the dialogue. It's really incredible. The dialogue really accentuates the curiosities of life, like these sort of philosophical questions of life. The kind of conversations you would have with someone who you really trust or you really feel you can be yourself with. There's a moment where Joaquin's character, Theodore, is telling Samantha how he feels like he's felt everything he's ever going to feel in his life, and everything after is just going to be sort of replicas, like a smaller version of those feelings. And that just, oh, it just hit me like right there. Like I felt all the feels, and it just hits you like that constantly. Like he's saying all these things that you are scared of and question about life in general. And even though it's about technology and about talking to an operating system, it's the most humane movie I've seen in a very long time. The movie was shot beautifully. The photography has this sort of warm, sunny filter to it that just makes everything seem very Los Angeles, where the movie is basically set. But there's also this discoloration. There's not a lot of saturation of color, which gives it a sort of 70s feel. Even the wardrobe has a bit of a retro vibe with the colors and the high-waisted pants, and I think it counterbalances the futuristic theme of the movie very, very well. Also, the color red is really prominent in the movie. I'm not entirely sure what it means. I'm not sure if it's the connection between him and the operating system, which is also red, or him and his love interest, which also tend to wear something red, but it's really present and you can't help but noticing. Now for the love and hate part of this segment, to tell you the truth, I can't find a single thing I hate about this movie. I was just so into it from the very beginning. Like, I understood it and I got it, and I couldn't find any moment where I was like, oh, that was unnecessary or that was terrible. It was really good. I really loved it. My absolute favorite thing about the movie, and it has to be either great writing or great acting or just the two of them combined, is the chemistry between the characters, especially between Joaquin Phoenix's character, Theodore, and Scarlett Johansson's character, Samantha. Theodore and Samantha have this amazing chemistry. Also, when Joaquin Phoenix is out in the world and talking to people, his best friend is Amy Adams' character, whose name I don't remember. And they also have an amazing, true friendship kind of chemistry that is just as interesting as, you know, the romantic interest with Samantha. Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson in this movie are so damn great together. They're funny, they just search for the meaning of each other's lives together. It's just very sentimental and deep, this connection that they have. Samantha's character, even though she's not a real person, she's an operating system, is actually really good for Theodore. She helps him get out of the house, to rediscover his fun side, even to take risks in his career that he hadn't tried before, like maybe publishing a book, and she helps him do all of that. And Theodore is just as good for Samantha. He helps her with her insecurities about not having a body, about not being a human like the rest of them, and helps her discover this incredible, endless side of her of knowledge and opportunities that humans don't really have. They reassure each other's greatness, they help each other through insecurities, they have very real fights. It's like any other real couple would do. On the other hand, Theodore's human interaction with Amy Adams' character is also just as refreshing and as interesting. You really sense a true friendship between them. You really love their time together on screen as well. It just started to rain. We're gonna plow through this, okay? For Theodore, Samantha is very real. His emotions for her are real. The feelings between them are very real. But is it only real when someone else confirms it? Do you inevitably, through the nature of life, end up choosing reality as opposed to fantasy? Or is it more of a conscious choice where you decide that you can no longer stay in the fantasy and have to opt for reality? I think the movie expresses this so well and so relevant to this digital world we live in nowadays. I also think, even though I don't know he planned to do this, there's a big relevance to online relationships and how they're carried out and people feel about them in general. The constant presence of that person in your life, helping you, loving you, being in every moment of your life, but not really having that tangible relationship people are used to and possibly being judged by it. I think it's also one of the dilemmas that people can maybe relate to more for this movie. I also really like how it signals just how deeply invested we are in this technology and in this digital equipment that we always carry with us. It's like this sort of air network. It's not really there, it's just floating around, and really it could just easily completely stop at any point. A glitch, an error, just come crashing down, and we have invested so much in what will eventually be nothing that what will we really have in the end? It just shows how scary and how real it is that it could all end in just like the blink of an eye. So before I rate this movie, I need to tell you what my categories are, because I just rated last week's movie, Walter Mitty's, and I didn't really explain it very well. Collection, premiere, cinema worthy, see on DVD, cable, and just trash. That being said, my rating for this movie would be collection. Especially for me, I think it's a brilliant movie. I think it's my favorite movie of the Oscar nominations so far. I haven't seen them all, but I've seen a few, and so far, Her is my favorite movie. So that's it for my review of this movie. Tell me, what did you think about Her? Also, what is your favorite Joaquin Phoenix movie? Comment down below and let me know. That is it for this episode of Cine Club. I hope you enjoy watching this review as much as I enjoyed talking about this movie. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you on our next movie date. So The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a story about this man who lives his life through daydreams, and his daydreams are amazing and adventurous, and he gets to do all the things he wants to do, but in real life he's very quiet and he's kind of shy and doesn't have the courage to go out to do the things he wants to do.